Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Saltzman. I'm Director of Advancement for Brockton Public Schools. This evening, I'm here in my role as Executive Director of the Brockton High School Alumni Association. If this is your first time attending this event, prepare yourself for an evening of Boxer pride and Brockton pride. Because during the next hour, we're going to meet the best of Brockton High's current students and the best of her graduates. There are more than 60,000 Brockton High School graduates spread throughout all 50 states, as well as several other nations. This is more than most of the 3,000 plus colleges in the US can boast. So we're thrilled that you're here to be part of our celebration. To begin the program, it's my honor to introduce our host for the evening, the president of the National Brockton High School Alumni Association, Bob Martin.
Pardon the squeaky voice, I still have my laryngitis, but welcome everybody, former Brockton High School graduates, friends, family. This is, as Bob said, this is a really wonderful time to acknowledge not just the past, but also our future. But before I go any further, I want to ask everyone to have a moment of silence and reflection for a really, what can I say, a real community icon and former president of the Alumni Association, Carl Landerholm, passed away recently. So may I have about 30 seconds of silence and reflection. Thank you. Thank you. I also want to recognize Carl's wife and daughter, Diane and Lisa Landerholm. Thank you for coming. Give applause. Absolutely. My dad had a fabric shop, by the way, downtown. Those of you older Brocktonians may know the Brockton Fabric Shop on 66 Main Street. That was my parents' store. My dad had an expression that he used, and said, actually two of them. One was never forget, and the other was, you don't know where you're going unless you know where you've been. And to this day, I know you think about him, but also what he reminded me constantly to tell people that I know, because certainly my family, that's important. It's also important in the Alumni Association. Tonight we're recognizing achievement for both what people have done, as well as their achievements for what they've done in the present, and certainly what they may be doing in the future. I would also like to recognize, as we go on the program, some public officials that are here. And if I've forgotten anyone, I apologize. First of all, State Representative Jerry Cassidy, just raise your hand. Jerry, thank you. State Representative Michelle Dubois. Michelle? Is Claire Cronin here tonight? No? Okay. Of course, our City Councilor and future President of the Association, Brockton City Councilor Ann Beauregard. Ann. Brockton City Councilor Shirley Azak. Shirley. Is Brockton City Councilor Susan Nicastro here? Susan? I mentioned Jerry. And also is Brockton School Committee woman Judy Sullivan here? Judy, no? Okay.
City Councilor Lodge, Davenport's here too.
Councilor Lodge Davenport's here, thank you. And also a Brockton High grad, correct? Okay. Any other public officials, state and local, that I've forgotten to mention or haven't seen? No? Okay. With that, I'd like to just talk about the importance of what the Alumni Association is. It is two things. One is get involved. Woody Allen once said, 80% of life is just showing up. I really believe that, and the rest is up to you. So with that in mind, if those of you interested in our Alumni Association, Mr. Salzman and our future president, Ann Beauregard, we're more than happy to talk to you about how to get involved, particularly in our subcommittees, which we have, correct me if I'm wrong, numerous subcommittees. Additionally, we also accept contributions, large and small, just to continue the good work that we're doing with scholarships, with events, and with recognition of the importance of the alumni from Brockton High. So with that in mind, oh, one other thing, excuse me. We're in a fantastic building, and I wanted to give a little bit of acknowledgement to the Cultural Arts Organization. Where is Arnie? He's outside directing traffic. The young lady in back is, I apologize.
My name is Lucia Cersei. I'm the new president of Brockton Arts, which is the tenant that owns this part of the building.
So if you want more information, and a Brockton High grad, correct? Okay. There's an opportunity, I know Arnie had volunteered, there's before to take people take tours of the building. There's some phenomenal art in this building. So if you stay a little after the presentation, I'm sure that not only Arnie but others would be more than happy to show people the building and the artwork that literally lines the corridors. It's phenomenal. So with that in mind, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Saltzman again, and we'll take it from there. Thank you very much.
While you were listening intently to Bob, I was looking around the room, and by my count, there were Brockton High School students here from at least 8 decades, from the 1940s to the 20-teens. I mean, that's a span of 8 decades in this room tonight. If you're a Brockton High grad, please raise your hand. Here we go. Thank you for coming. All right. Now we're about to introduce you to 4 students who in about 40 hours will graduate and will become the newest members of the Brockton High School Alumni Association. So to oversee the presentation of this year's scholarship awards, it's my pleasure to introduce the volunteer chair of our Communications and Marketing Committee and a member of this year's scholarship committee, John Nesty.
Thank you very much. As Bob mentioned, my name is John Nesty. I am a Brockton High graduate, the class of 1996. Bob had mentioned a few of us that are from the 40s, and he didn't want to say which one of the Bobs he was referring to, but in any case, it's great to be in a room full of boxers. And what's amazing about the school is its size and the amount of people that have passed through the doors over the many, many years. And it's not a joke, but I'll bump into people that I've met for the very first time today, and I found out that I graduated high school with them. So I'm sure many people have, similar stories. But we're here today to talk about the scholarship recipients. So since 2006, our Alumni Association has awarded $43,000 in scholarships to graduating seniors. Tonight, we'll be giving $1,000 each to 4 outstanding students. They represent more than 40 exceptional students who applied this year, which I believe was a greater number than the previous year. So we're trending upwards. And as part of the scholarship review committee, I had a chance to read through each one of these applications, and let's just say it was extremely difficult to narrow these down. But all in all, it was fantastic to read about what these young people are doing, what they plan to do, and how they will represent Brockton moving forward. So our first recipient, Alexis. Alexis, come on up. So, I'm going to try to boil down their summaries here in just a couple of bullet points, but believe me, it does not do their candidacy justice, and certainly the 27 to 40 that we read were all fantastic. Alexis, she's an advanced concert band, part of the wind ensemble, jazz band, varsity tennis, foreign language honor society, national honor society, began learning Mandarin Chinese in the 6th grade. Currently ranked 4th in her class, and she will go on to attend UMass Amherst and will double major in mathematics and economics. So congratulations, Alexis. Congratulations. So next, we'd like to bring up Erin. Erin Hamlin, ladies and gentlemen. So Erin is part of the advanced concert band, the Wind Ensemble, halftime majorettes, part of the model Brockton City Council, also in Chinese peer training, had a chance to travel to Beijing as part of Brockton High School's foreign language department, part of the drama club, ranked third in her class, and she will attend, I've heard of this place, it's up the street, it's called Harvard, and she'll be majoring in biochemistry to pursue a career in medicine, so congratulations, Erin. So next we'd like to bring up Elaine. All right, Elaine Rodriguez, ladies and gentlemen. So Elaine moved to Brockton here from Cape Verde when she was 12 years old. She's been a teacher's assistant, a tutor at East Middle School, and a freshman mentor. She's part of an organization called Coaching for Change. She participates in dance club and karate, and she will be attending UMass Boston with a major in biology with plans to become a nurse. Congratulations, Elaine. And tonight's final recipient, Alexandra Yunes, ladies and gentlemen. So Alexandra is involved with dance, marching band, and the Wind Ensemble. She's the founder and president of the model Brockton City Council, president of the Chinese sector of the Foreign Language Honor Society, president of the Maronite Youth Organization, political campaigns volunteer, part of the church choir, currently ranked #1 in her class, and she will be attending Boston College studying international relations on the pre-law track. So congratulations, Alexandra. Another round of applause for our recipients tonight. And congratulations on your graduation. 2 days, right?
Thank you, John Nesty. We have a surprise guest and speaker. He's the Assistant Dean of Brockton High's Red House, and best of all, he's a Brockton High School graduate. Ladies and gentlemen, from the class of 1998, John Garcia.
Good evening, thank you. Don't worry, my remarks are brief, but I never go anywhere without notes. Thank you for having me. I want to thank Bob and the Alumni Association for putting this event together and for recognizing 4 of the best Brockton High School students possible. You could not find a better representation of our school anywhere than the 4 students that were just recognized. It's a real pleasure for me to be here and speaking before you for these outstanding students and also these outstanding alumni and being able to share their accomplishments with you and their tremendous contributions. Thank you again, and please enjoy the evening.
We have a couple other guests that we'd like to recognize. We're grateful that so many past recipients of the Alumni Awards have come tonight to show their support. These are the people who said they were coming. I hope they're still in the room. Amy Coram. Bob Martin. Carol Thomas. Janet Trask. And Greta Zukowski. We're also honored to have the superintendent of schools with us this evening, Kathleen Smith. Our first alumni award this evening is for service to the community. Making the presentation is the chairperson of our Alumni Awards Committee, City Councilor Ann Beauregard.
Good evening, and everyone. Thank you for coming. It's no secret to anyone in this community that this is, a dedicated award, and it goes to someone that's extremely dedicated to our community. 1980 graduate, State Senator Michael Brady. Everyone expects. This evening, everyone expects me to mention that he's a state senator, that he was a former state rep, that he was a former city councilor, or that even he was a former school committee person. But that's not why he was nominated by Amy Quorum. Amy Quorum nominated him, like so many others, think of Michael Brady as the person that is there. 80% of the time is showing up. Michael Brady is 800% of the time. He is there to clean a park. He is there to run a road race, to clean up afterwards, to set up before. He's there whether it's Summer Sunday in the park, summer solstice, whatever kind of community event that goes on, Michael Brady is a part of that. He doesn't think that anything too small or too challenging is too good for him to do. He is out there not only empowering people, but contributing to what makes this city so remarkable and the people in it. I mean, I feel so bad tonight because some of the people that were such a part of his life are not here. The late Paul Sullivan, that we volunteered for hours and hours with, and Michael was there for a lot of elected officials that made it and some that didn't. He's not, and tonight, this evening, is a woman that was like a second mother to him, Mary Virginia Ginny Curtis, who, along with Michael and many other people, helped see one of the largest employers in this city that continues to serve so many people in this city and the surrounding communities, and that's the Brockton Neighborhood Health Center. There isn't a place you can go to in this community that people don't say and don't know who Michael Brady is. When, let me tell you, working on a campaign for him is easy because everyone's ready to vote for him because of what he does. I mean, he's responsible for helping raising thousands of dollars in this community for so many great projects and programs that have transpired and continue to do so. I mean, it's an honor tonight for me to speak of him. It's an honor for all of you to have the pleasure of having him in your community, and for the city of Brockton and its surrounding communities to have him serve for us in the State House. And we wish him the most in the years to come, but we don't doubt that he'll always think of Brockton as he does as home. And recently we had a special program in this community, Mass Memories, and there he was supporting that once again after the fourth other event he attended that day. I mean, he does this because he cares, and I hope, if nothing else, that people follow in his, and just decide and choose to be as committed. So join me in congratulating Michael Brady, our state senator, but really our remarkable, committed to the community graduate, a distinguished alumni for 2019. Yes, I know. This was fun.
Actually, Brenda should be holding it.
Okay, you can hold it.
We'll hold it together. It's a team effort.
It's heavier than I thought.
Thank you, Ian, fine Councilor Beauregard. And I mentioned we're holding it together because we do things as a team effort in Brockton. And we are known as a city of champions because of a lot of endeavors because we work together as a team. And before I start going on, I want to congratulate the honorees for the scholarships. You are making us proud in the city of Brockton, and you are doing an unbelievable job, and God bless you and wish you great future endeavors. And I also have to confess, one of the honorees is going to be an intern in my office in a couple weeks, Alexandra, and hopefully she can teach us older people something in the State House. And I'm very humbled to be following our good friend Bob and many of the honorees, and Carl Landerholm and many of the other honorees who were awarded honorees with Alumni Award in the past. And I'm very honored to be amongst distinguished guests. And I can't forget my brother Bob, who's also an elected official in the town of Avon, which is a little town north of me. Yeah, he's my younger brother Bob. He graduated 8 years ahead of me in the class of '72. But I still have more gray hairs than him. As you can tell, when I graduated, I don't think I had any gray hairs, and see what politics does to you. And as Ann mentioned, I used to run a lot of road races, but as you can tell, I haven't run a few in a while. I got to get back in action. But I want to thank everybody who showed up tonight, thank the Alumni Association, everybody who's put an effort into this facility, this art facility. It's a great endeavor in downtown. The history of Brockton, you know, we're known as the shoe city, and this was the Stacey Adams shoe factory at one point where Rocky Marciano's parents, his father worked, and he worked here before he went into the serve for our country, and then became the only undefeated world heavyweight champion of the world. And we've been known for our sports, but as I mentioned before, what makes us the most proudest is our school students in the city of Brockton, because every time we go to the State House, I hear nothing but great, wonderful things about our students in Brockton. Being with Vinnie McCreen, and we keep telling them, we told them back when I was on the school committee when Jack Eunice was a mayor, we weren't going to let him retire then, and thank God he hasn't, but he's getting close. I get nervous, but they win awards all over the country. I was at a science fair recently at the high school with these students that won scholarships as well, and you are continuous to make us so proud. And us as a state delegation, I know our local city officials and school committee members as well, are working every day to make sure provide enough adequate funding for you to succeed, because without the funding, I know it's very difficult. And we're not a wealthy community like Wellesley or Dover, but with what means we have, you are making us so proud in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. So let's give a round of applause to all our students in Brockton. And I could go on, because us politicians sometimes get a little long-winded, so I'm going to shut up. But I've got two other great honorees tonight, and I'm just very humbled to be a part of this event tonight. And thank you to those who nominated me and everything else, and thank you to everyone who showed up. And I want to thank the family who's here as well. And I'm just honored to be a part of this, and we're going to continue to keep Brockton the city of champions. So God bless you.
Thank you. I have two commercials. The first, to invite you to join the thousands of other Brockton High School graduates on social media. There's a list of options on the back page of your program booklet. Whether you're on Instagram or LinkedIn or Twitter or Facebook, there are Brockton High alumni out there who want to network with you. Our second commercial is for your financial support. Making a tax-deductible contribution to your alumni association allows us to help current students as well as to organize programs and services for our alumni. There is a handout in your program that will show you how to earmark your gifts. Thank you. Now back to the show. We began an instant tradition last year by establishing a Young Alumni Award. We want this to go to a Brockton High graduate from whatever is the most recent decade. We're thrilled that last year's Young Alumni Award recipient came back to present this year's award. Ladies and gentlemen, Greta Zukowski.
I might have to fix. Oh, all can hear me, right, if I keep it like this? Okay, so thank you for having me here tonight. When I think back to my time spent at Brockton High School, a montage of memories come rushing in. I'm talking about the massive chocolate chip cookies at lunch, for those of you who remember those, yes, Lucia. The stampede-like 4-minute passings in the core, Friday night football games, and of course, the ever so impressive spring musical that I know is still ever so impressive. Just like these specific moments and events that shape our collective high school experiences, there are certain people that leave an unforgettable imprint on you as well. Loic Assombo is one of those people. My interactions with Loic were nothing short of uplifting and positive. Loic's demeanor, intrinsically kind, his smile, soft and inviting, his reasoning, rational with an underlying pulse of compassion and empathy. Apart from being a person of character and poise, Loic is decorated with many accomplishments. If you haven't gotten a chance to look at his bio, I'm just gonna highlight a few of the cool things that he's been doing, okay? Since graduating Brockton High School in 2011, my year, Lucia's year too, okay? We're ruling the room here. Loic has earned his Bachelor's of Science in Biology and Master's of Science in Nursing from Boston College. He's currently a primary care adult and gerontology nurse practitioner. As if that isn't impressive enough, Loic has taken his passion for helping others as a nurse and turned it into an inspirational children's book. He is the author of The Adventures of Noah the Nurse. It is the first ever children's book featuring a Black male nurse practitioner for elementary school children. He started the children's book series with the intention of breaking gender biases about the nursing profession and increasing interest among young Black males to join the profession. Loic has also mastered giving back in even more ways. He is also an entrepreneur who has designed many mobile health solutions to improve healthcare access and outcomes in rural communities and African communities, particularly in Cameroon, where he was born. If you please would do so, please join me in the BHS Alumni Association today on May 30th, 2019, in presenting the Brockton High School Young Alumni Award to a fellow class of 2011 graduate in recognition of his academic and professional accomplishments during his first decade after graduation. Loic R. Assombo.
Wow. First and foremost, thank you so much. This means a lot. When I got the email or the letter saying that I was getting awarded this award, I was totally shocked. And then being here today and hearing about all the new grads at Brockton High and all the amazing things that they're doing, it's so inspirational. And then to read the bios of all the other honorees that are being honored along with me, I'm honored to be even considered in the conversation along with these two other gentlemen. I think that one thing that connects us all here is that we have what they call Brockton pride. It was as early as elementary school that I learned about the idea that Brockton had this legacy of being the first, right? We just heard we were the first electrically wired city. We were the biggest shoe manufacturing city. We had Rocky Marciano. And, you know, growing up from Brockton, I was really just inspired by this legacy of Brockton being the first, Brockton being the city of champions. And so I kind of took this with me going through high school, going through college, and I really wanted to push this legacy forward. And so a lot of the things that I've done is as a result of wanting to push this legacy of City of Champions, this legacy of being from Brockton, being a boxer. And so we have a lot of alumni from my class, Lucia, we have Greta, and when I look around and I see all these other alumni doing really great things in our city, this is really what pushes me to want to achieve more, to want to keep pushing this legacy of Brockton being the city of champions. And so, although I'm receiving this award today, I'm really accepting it on behalf of all the people within the city who work towards pushing this legacy of being city of champions, being the city of champions like we all say we are. Thank you so much.
I'm going to put her on the spot. Superintendent Smith, would you like to say a few words?
Good evening, everyone. It is truly an honor to be here. And I have to tell you, there have been a lot of starts of trying to get together our alumni to come together to do wonderful things for the many thousands of graduates that have gone through the halls of Brockton High School, old and new. So it is such a privilege to see the work that Bob and his team has done, to look around tonight and to see all of us coming together for such special reasons. You get to see what I get to see every day. And I say this to the graduates from Brockton High School, who we will honor on Saturday afternoon, that I think I am the luckiest and the proudest superintendent, not only in the state, but in this nation, because of the grit of our students, because of the success, because of the intelligence, the talents, all the things that they bring to us. It doesn't matter where I go around this state or this nation, I am proud to be from Brockton and to represent so many wonderful people that have made our city terrific. And nothing is better than in a community for all of us to come together and to honor not only our students, but our past, our present, and it's important, it's very important that we look to the future. That when you are asked about supporting for so many things like scholarship or events that bring us together, I want you to think of ways, whether it is scholarship, can you volunteer your time? Can you come up with a fantastic idea? We're looking at our facilities. We need to grow Brockton High. I'm sure many of you know. I've talked about this for a long time. And I actually tell people I don't want to hear them call that 50-year-old building the new Brockton High. And that's not to be disrespectful. But our kids are owed, they are owed a building with 21st century skills, equipment, resources. And that doesn't happen unless we come together and we make sure that we continue to support them, not only as the city of Brockton, all our elected officials, but the alumni. You have such a loud voice, and people want to make sure that that is heard and captured. So Bob, I see you everywhere. Where are you, both Bobs? Bob Saltzman. And what's good about that is Bob is out at events. He is representing you well, and I really thank him and all of you for continuing to do that work and supporting our students. Congratulations to everybody.
Superintendent, we thank you for all your service on behalf of all of our students. Come to think of it, Brockton High School was established in 1870. So next year, in 2020, we hopefully will have a year-long sesquicentennial celebration. That's tonight's new word. To commemorate our 150th anniversary. And so we are going to be asking you to get involved with that in the coming months. Over the years, we just have so many successful graduates from coast to coast. Tonight, our Alumni Achievement Award is going to someone very special. And making the presentation is last year's recipient of the Alumni Service Award, Amy Coram.
Thank you, Bob. It's really special. This is not on my notes, but I was sitting there thinking about Brockton High. I'm a 1971 graduate, and I'm preparing to be having our 50th reunion in a couple of years. I'm the chairperson, of course, of it. So we have a meeting every month just to have fun. But we have 15 people that just want to get together because we were friends in high school. And then we talk about the reunion a little bit after we do everything else. But anyway, tonight on the 30th of May, as a member of Brockton High School Alumni Association, I'm proud to honor and introduce the 2019 Brockton High Achievement Award winner, Leo Narducci. Leo is class of 1950, and in recognition, this is in recognition of his career, success, and leadership. Leo was born and raised in Brockton, the son of a textile and garment factory owner, and at a very young age, he showed an interest in fashion and design and was nurtured by his parents. He attended the Rhode Island School of Design and embarked on a career in New York City in the 1960s when fashion was being turned on its end. And Leo soon, his creativity and design attracted the attention of fashion editors and fellow designers like Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, Women's Wear Daily, Glamour, and Mademoiselle, and was acclaimed as one of the top young designers in America. Leo's philosophy was clothes need not be expensive to be good. He was awarded the prestigious Coty Fashion Award for Young Designers, and it now resides in Brockton at the Historical Society. The long list of celebrities that he has dressed includes Anne Bancroft, Anne Margaret, Anita Gillette, Angela Lansbury, Gloria de Havilland, Kay Stevens, and model Marissa Berenson. Once Leo was at lunch with Jane Powell, and the waitress passed Leo a note sent by the gentleman sitting in the next table asking to please introduce him to Jane. It was Oscar de la Renta. Leo designed all of Kay Stevens' nightclub clothes and went on the Mike Douglas show with her. And Leo knew Mike's wife, who wore many of his creations too. In 1966, when Anita Gillette appeared on the Johnny Carson show, Johnny asked what she was wearing, and she spun around and announced on national TV that the 4-inch belt that she was wearing over her black evening pajamas was inscribed with the name Leo Narducci in Swarovski crystals. The belt resides at the Rhode Island School of Design. Leo is still in touch with his friend Anita today. LaSalle College displays a 30-piece collection of Leo's vintage clothing. When Brockton's Fuller Museum opened, Dorothy Dale asked Leo to bring a black tie fashion show to Brockton and celebrate. Leo brought a New York model who caused many stares because she wore a hammered silk shirt without a bra, which is very brazen in those days. Leo told me that story. I didn't make it up. I had always been aware of our international star, and we are also Facebook friends. And one day, while I was getting a haircut, I overheard one of the stylists speaking to her about her talented son, who had his own sewing machine since age 7 and was now creating all the costumes and dresses for the Cardinal Spellman Spring Play for the 3rd year in a row. Well, I referred her to Leo, who graciously invited the boy and his mother to the Fashion Week in New York, right? RISD. And he gave him a tour of RISD, Rhode Island School of Design. So Leo is a teacher and a mentor perpetuating the art of fashion, and so deserving of the honor received tonight for the Brockton High School Alumni Achievement Award. Please welcome Leo Narducci.
And I've got my yearbook. I mean, this is a collector's item. 1950. And it's got all the pictures and it's just everything, you know.
Leo, before you start, we're going to take some pictures with the award too. So, let's maybe get to the side, please. Make sure we get some.
Sure.
Leo.
Oh, we were going to give the award.
Thank you.
Smile.
That's nice.
Don't have much room.
Hello, Brockton. Amy? Thank you. See what Facebook did for us? Oh, I wrote a little thing for you. I said also thanks for the phone calls and helping me catch up on Brockton's happenings. Pardon me. Big thanks to Bob Salzman and the Brockton High School Alumni Association for this honor. I regard this as a tribute not just to me, but to the entire graduating class of 1950. Some who happen to be here this evening. What? Yeah. It seems like such a long time ago, and yet at times it seems like it was just yesterday, right? The first thing I did in preparing for this evening was to dig up my yearbook. 1950 was a good year. Brockton changed dramatically after the Second World War. A new middle class prospered and grew. There was a boom and Brockton flourished from it. As a city, we excelled in sports and growth of new businesses. And we were unique because of our diversity. Our graduating class was a fine example. Our class president, Pat Piscatelli, was Italian-American. Our class treasurer, Harold Collins, was African-American. Our secretary, Claire Cahill, was Irish-American. And our class vice president, May Chin, was Asian-American. Think about it. This was 1950. Isn't that who we are?
Yes. Yes, it is.
I also asked Barbara Lutz, who keeps close count on our class members, for some help. When we had our 60th, she wrote a fabulous op-ed that appeared in the Brockton Enterprise. One of her comments resonates, and I quote, "Back in the day when cell phones, texting, and computers were unheard of, time was spent walking to school together, talking, going to the movies or football games, etc., etc. This type of bonding left lasting impressions on the class of 1950. The many who gathered to meet and greet their friends from 60 years, soon to be 70 years, will tell you that it felt more like greeting family." End of quote. I'd like to add to that. I think it's a Brockton thing. I was born in Brockton almost 87 years ago. In fact, when I was born, my parents lived on Warren Avenue, very close to where we are this evening. Over the growing up years, I lived mostly in Campello. As their business flourished, so did our living quarters. We moved a lot. My mother, Mary Ventresca Narducci, was born in Boston. Her parents moved to Brockton when she was 6 months old. My dad came here from Canosa, Italia, when he was 9 years old. His father and older brother, Sam, had come first and worked to save money to bring my grandmother, my dad, my Uncle Ralph, and my Aunt Philomena. I'm an only child, but never felt lonely. I had cousins by the dozens, and a lot of them are here tonight. Gloria Crowley and I are the eldest on the Ventresca side. She's sitting right over there. I've been also blessed to have 4 godchildren: Mary Gilfacella, Wayne Crowley Jr., Steve Ventresca, and Billy Reardon Jr., who is deceased, but he's watching. My mom and dad were very hard workers. Dad jumped around different jobs, each one taking him a step up. Mom was a seamstress and worked her way up to become head seamstress and sample maker for a large New York manufacturer who had a factory in Brockton, where Plymouth Clothiers were next to St. Margaret's, what used to be St. Margaret's Church. Before long, they managed the factory, and soon after that, they became, they left and started Narducci Sportswear, and soon after that, they became one of the premier contract factories in Massachusetts. 60 machines on one floor, and on the next floor, a cutting for all other factories in the area. They truly lived the American dream. I was interested in fashion at a very early age. My aunt, Yolanda Ventresca Susie, was a mentor. She patiently taught me to sketch, and watching her make clothes for her daughters was amazing. She would fold a yard or two of fabric, fold it in half, and in perfect free form, start cutting, and voila. There would be a charming little dress for my cousins Marilyn or her younger sister Lola. My mother was precise, pattern, cut, everything perfect. She was an Aries. She had impeccable taste, so I learned from both of them. When my friends were collecting baseball cards, I was busy fine-tuning my interest in fashion. By the time I got to high school, I was pretty much set in my mind about what I wanted to do for my future. Dad was hesitant about design school. I'd never be able to make a living. We compromised. I'd study business administration first, then go to design school. So September of 1950, I started studying business administration at Boston University. Then came the Korean War. Just before my junior year, I left BU and joined the Air Force. Great. I'd get stationed in Europe, and on the side, I'd study fashion in Paris or maybe even Milan. Wrong. I ended up on Okinawa as a control tower operator, landing planes and dreaming about fashion, a very strange combo. After 4 years, I was ready to be discharged, and I applied at Parsons School of Design in New York, Syracuse University for fashion marketing, and the Rhode Island School of Design for textile and fashion. I was accepted at all of them, but I decided on Rhode Island School of Design. 4 years there flew by, and on graduation day, I moved to New York City to live my dream. I was lucky. Combined with my training, growing up in the business, I was on my way. Leo roars, or so said Women's Wear Daily. I always tried to keep my feet on the ground, however. I never forgot my roots. I remember an editor interviewing me and saying, "Ah, I see you're from Boston." "Oh, no, ma'am, I'm from Brockton." That's B-R-O-C-K-T-O-N. Dorothy Dale, who did a fashion column for the Enterprise, became a fan and friend. In fact, when I had my first fashion show with my own label, there were 2 rows for just press, seated with the biggie, like the New York Times, in front. I plucked Dorothy Dale right in the middle of all of them. When the Fuller Museum in Brockton had their official opening, I came up for a black tie event that she had put together. In '03, Barbara Lutz headed a group for the Brockton Historical Society for a Narducci retrospective show. 400 people came. One fun story regarding a show that I did at the Plaza Hotel in New York. It was a collaboration that I did with Warner Brothers and Trevera Textiles to coincide with the opening of the movie Mame at Radio City, which starred Lucille Ball. I did a collection of clothes inspired by the era of Mame. After the film opening, there was a cocktail party at the home of Patrick Dennis, who actually was the writer, the supposed writer of Mame. While I've met and dressed many celebrities, they're just people. I was never nervous. But there was something special about meeting Lucy. Anyway, we met, conversed, laughed, all went well. Associated Press was there and took photos. 2 days later, my mom called me. Oh my, our phone has been ringing off the wall. Why, Mom? You're on the front page of the Brockton Enterprise with Lucille Ball. Oh my. I've had a marvelous life, ups and downs and everything in between. I'm deeply touched and humbled to be standing here tonight. My thanks to all that made this happen. A special thanks to my partner, Rob Ferrari, because I wouldn't be here if he didn't. And all my beautiful, loving family and friends for taking the time to be here tonight. Y'all make me smile and happy to be alive. God bless you.
That was inspirational. You Brockton High School graduates are such an untapped resource. We need your involvement as volunteers, as donors, as mentors. So please look at the back of those program books for ways to get more involved. By the way, nominating alumni for next year's awards is an easy way to get involved. We hope you'll stay. We hope you'll join us now for a dessert reception. Please take advantage of the opportunity to talk with our wonderful students and our alumni honorees. We thank the Stacey Adams Cultural Arts Building staff for your hospitality. We thank all of you for coming, and we'll see you next year.